Hello and welcome to the first Her Version Impact panel of 2022. We are opening this year with a bang in the female community, speaking about everything motherhood. This will be a great broadcast for you to listen in on if you are an expecting mother, a new mother, if you have 6 little ones running around the house, and everything in between. If you are a dad, we would love your support also. We have women from all walks of life opening up about the smiles, the challenges, the laughter, and the realism of what motherhood is. I am super excited about this impact panel. Let's jump right in. Hello and welcome to today's episode of Her Version. This podcast is dedicated to sharing stories of struggle to triumph, a platform that allows individuals to tell their truth in order to inspire and uplift others. For those of you that are new to this podcast and like content like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button and follow, like, and share. I am your host, Sabrina Victoria. This will be an interactive forum, and any comments or questions you post will possibly be selected to go on screen for the ladies to engage with you personally. Come with questions, worries, difficulties, and we will help you navigate through it. If you are watching this live or on the hashtag replay, we would appreciate if you share this to your followers so we can expand our reach. Now, the first thing I want to do is I want to introduce our ladies. So we have several women here from all walks of life, and I would like each of you to introduce your name and where you are from, starting with Nicole.
Hello, everyone. I am Nicole Gayatri. I am from Costa Rica.
Hi, guys. I am Maureen Scanlon, and I am from Mesa, Arizona.
Hi, everyone. My name is Rachel Ulster, and I am from sunny South Florida.
Good morning. My name is Erica Hall. I am a mother of 6. I've been doing it for 25 years, and I am in Ohio.
Hi, everybody. My name is Tori Brame, and I am a mother of a 3.5-year-old. He's my only kid, and I am in Charleston, South Carolina.
Is that everybody? Charmin, did you go? Sophia?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sophia. I think I have an echo.
You do have an echo. Where are you from, Sophia?
I'm living here in New York City. I'm a hashtag boy mom.
Yes. Charmin? We can't hear you.
I'm Sherman Johnson, mother of 5, and from Bucks County, Pennsylvania.
Yes. All right, ladies. Well, thank you so much for joining me this early on a Saturday. I do hear a little bit of reverb, so if you have headphones, you might want to put them in because it might be you. I am going to start this podcast off giving Nicole the floor today. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to each go around, have about 10 to 15 minutes of floor time where we're going to actually host and hold the space for other women to share their stories and experiences on motherhood by first asking a question. So Nicole, introduce yourself, let us know what you do, and then let us know your question.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nicole Gayatri. As I said, I'm here in Costa Rica. I am also a boy mom to a 4.5-year-old son. I'm a single mama here, and a lot of the work that I do is teaching other moms how to transform through self-devotion to create their dream life so that they can live their true fuck yes. And yes, I swear. I use curse words, and I know that's not for everyone, but not everyone is our cup of tea. One of the things that I really wanted to talk about today on this panel is motherhood can be a difficult journey in the beginning. As we all know, there's a lot of sleepless nights when you have a newborn, and it's probably even harder when you have more kids around. I haven't ever gone through that myself, but I think that's one of the things that maybe isn't as talked about in our society, or at least it wasn't before I had a child. I wasn't really aware of how common postpartum and other postpartum issues can be. And for myself, I definitely went through a lot of them. Some of them being the fact that I am a single mama. I had hired someone to come in and help me with my child because I'm living in Costa Rica. I don't have other family here. And that person wasn't actually supportive. They ended up being both mentally and emotionally abusive towards me. So it not only was I dealing with the hormones that shift and change after having a child, not only was I dealing with the sleep deprivation after having my child, but I was dealing with someone who was consistently telling me, "You're the most terrible mom there ever was." And my own brain was taking these things in and believing that at times and then repeating it back to me. So I was in constant worry. I was very depressed. And so I'm wondering from all of you, did you go through any of these different postpartum issues when you had your child? And if you have more than one child, was it different each time? I would love to hear from you because I think it's something that in society we need to stop making it a taboo and start talking about it more so that moms are ready to deal with these issues and know where to go for support. Anyone want to speak on that? Anyone?
I'll go. I'll go first. I'll go first.
Okay,
I
Erica,
don't
thanks.
mind. I love that you brought up this question because nowadays we are talking about more things, right? When I first had a child was a long time ago, doing it 25 years. And so we weren't even talking about those things. Like motherhood was one of the things that it just happened. Like my mom just had kids. We did life. Nobody was like, here's what motherhood is like. Here's what you're going to go through, much less telling us what was happening to our bodies when we were pregnant and then afterwards. So some of the things that I also noticed was it's not just postpartum. Like there are these periods of time that your body is still adjusting to what your kids are going through and it has to adapt. I've noticed now because I'm past those years, our youngest is now 5, but with 5 kids still living at, going through life and living at home, now I have girls going through hormones and my body's changing. And I was like, oh, wow. So in the discussion of postpartum depression, I think it is motherhood depression. I think it really has more to do with our hormones as general, because even as we have a body, our body's depleted, we need to refill, but our body depletes more when we are taking care of our family because we're not taking care of ourselves. So I think it's like this whole long discussion that we just need to always have. Like, how do you feel about motherhood today? I think it fucking sucks and I want them to all go away. Okay, that's okay. You're allowed to feel that. How do you feel today? Oh, I love them. They're the best things of my whole entire life and their kid, right? Like those, it's a series of emotions. And so if we don't talk about it, then we're holding it in and we think there's something wrong with us. There's never anything wrong with a woman. Like even labeling it postpartum depression makes it sound like we have some illness. I don't have an illness. I'm a fucking woman who has hormones and this is natural. And all of your diagnoses is what makes it sound like we're ill.
I love that, Erica. Thank you.
Person, I'm sorry, that's how I feel about it. I don't mean to offend anybody because what you are going through is very, very valid. And some bodies, your body needs assistance and we all need assistance in different ways. So don't ever feel bad for getting assistance. But the number one person not supported in this universe is a mother, especially a mother who just had a baby. I was in situations where I had no time to recover because I was in abusive situations. I didn't even get to make to my 6-week checkup without certain things. So there's a lot that we're dealing with, much less just raising a tiny little human being. And I think we need to give ourselves a little bit of a break and say, guess what? If we were really doing this right, moms wouldn't do anything but take care of that baby for the first 3 months. Nothing. That's how it used to be done. She didn't get up. She didn't make food. She didn't take care of other kids. She didn't clean her house. She didn't do anything. For 3 months, all she did was take care of herself and her body, and other people took care of her. It was tradition, and we've gotten so far away from that. So if we want to do anything, every mom should have the first 3 months off, like completely. But that's, we know, is not possible, right? So we have to talk about it. We have to ask for support. We have to stop thinking that there's something wrong with us and that we're sick or ill. We're not. It's just a name that men put to it so they can explain what's going on. Because a woman didn't name these things, you guys. I mean, I looked it up and I did my research. They didn't name it. So that's just my opinion. Anybody else want to chime in?
Yes, Tori, please go ahead.
So I have lupus. I'll talk about that when it's my turn. But I was flaring my entire pregnancy, and it was touch and go the entire time. And the only thing that I was focused on my whole pregnancy is I want to be alive and I want my kid to be alive. And like so much as to the point, it was like 3 days before my induction date, and I had the first thought, like in my entire pregnancy, oh my God, I hope he's cute. Like I hadn't even considered what he would look like. And usually, you know, people get the line on the stick and they're like, what are they going to look like? You know, are they going to look like me, their dad, you know, stuff like that. And that had not even occurred to me. And so after he was born, there was some part of me that didn't expect to make it that far. And so when he was born, I kind of let go. And I had so many thoughts like, you know, if I'm a bad mom, they're going to take him back. Like the hospital's going to take him back or something like that. Just completely irrational. And I went through about 5 months. Oh, and because of my lupus, I couldn't nurse. Like I tried really hard, but the most I ever made in a day was like 7 ounces or something. And it's just not supportive. So when for those 5 months, I was struggling with so many things, and it's hard to attribute. I had so many things going on. Like my relationship was on the rocks. I also, we're divorced now. And, you know, I had so many health things going on. So like, it's hard for me to go back and be like, yes, that was postpartum depression. But when I was in it, I could almost see myself above it where like, you know, I did have like suicidal ideation, and there were times where I was like actually at rock bottom. But like the whole time I could kind of see myself above it. And I was just like, well, what are you going to change? Like, this is your opportunity to see what isn't working and you can change. And that time, like, even though it was rock bottom for me, it like rocketed me up to where I am now, which is, you know, like if someone is treating me poorly, they're not in my life. Like, you know, it's, you know, having that self-worth, but without actually getting to that rock bottom, I never could have had that. So it's like, you know, it's very sad. It's very hard for everybody, but like, if you use it correctly, it can be one of the best things that's ever happened to you.
I love that you brought that up, Tori, because I think my experience too helped me with setting boundaries, which are so important in motherhood, right? knowing both your worth and where you need help and when you need to ask for help. Boundaries and being able to ask are so important. Anybody else have anything you want to talk about? Yes, Sabrina.
So my story is a little bit different, I think, than maybe some of you, but I got pregnant at 20 out of wedlock, and I was born and raised as a Jehovah's Witness. So for those of you that don't know, when you have sex before marriage, you are disassociated from everybody that you know. So I was completely cut off from my entire family and from my entire church. And the Jehovah's Witnesses only hang out with Jehovah's Witnesses. So I didn't have anybody outside the church that I hung out with. So when I got pregnant, I was literally isolated besides myself and my son's father. So I often wonder whether or not I endured postpartum, because there were so many other emotions going through my head, as far as being sinful, as far as being unloved, dirty, unworthy, zero self-esteem. I go back sometimes and I look at pictures of myself when I was pregnant, and I'm going to start crying, but there was so many pictures where I was sad before I even had my son. You could just see it on my face. I couldn't even smile. But, I wanted the pictures of the growth of the belly, and what he looked like. But there was so much sadness around my pregnancy. And, even when I gave birth to my son, we called my parents to tell them, that I had a son, first baby of the family, first grandchild. He was a boy. and to tell them, you know, that he was born, how much he weighed, what time, and all of the goodness that's supposed to go along with having a baby. And I got no call back, no response. And, you know, obviously you can tell it's heavy, you know, it's heavy. Still, sometimes, you know, the family is now together and everything's fine. But, you know, there's still frustration in that. And, you know, not that it matters, you know, kind of like what Erica said, like, does it, you know, postpartum or not postpartum, like just stuff that we deal with, who knows? But I do often wonder how much of it was postpartum that I just didn't know about. You know, the feelings of wanting to drop my son off at a fire station, the feelings of being so angry, being so mad, being so alone, feeling like I had nobody to help, nobody to assist. I couldn't even ask questions to people because I didn't have anybody. So, you know, I guess the reason I'm speaking is because, you know, for those of you mothers out there who are dealing with something similar, where you are totally isolated from friends or from family, or whether you're just putting up boundaries, there are going to be feelings that come up. There are going to be feelings and frustrations and sadness, and you're not necessarily going to have somebody to talk to. And, you know, I recommend journaling. I recommend, you know, videotaping yourself through all of that, so you can kind of go back and kind of remind yourself of how strong you are or how strong you were, because you can make it through. My son is 17 years old now. He's gorgeous. He's so confident. He's so outgoing. He's so full of love and laughter and life. And, you know, that was a decision. That was a decision I had to make early on whether or not I wanted to play the victim, you know, the woe is me, and look at everything that's happened to me in my life, or to parent through power and to parent through confidence and love. And I chose love.
That's so beautiful, Sabrina. Thank you so much for sharing. And I love that love is always the answer, right? When we're losing our minds, no matter what it's because, love is always the answer.